A brand new week, another episode. It is the Doni Experience with Chami. Compulsory voting is a system where voters are obliged to take part in elections and also attend polling place on voting day. So now we ask that, should South Africa follow suit? Join me as I engage with Zwelibanzi Mazibuko on this topic. Mr. News Reporter, Mr. Journalist, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I am awesome. I'm glad to be joined by you.
I'm very honored to be here.
It is a Doni experience, like you said.
Thank you.
Hey, Baba, some 22 countries made e-voting compulsory. We talk about your Argentina, your Australia, Egypt. I was even shocked. South Africa next year, 2024, we need to go there and vote. And we know that the turnout with us, especially the young people, has not been good. What's your take on that?
I think young people need to take voting seriously. Young people need to understand the power of voting.
For voting, yeah.
Because, voting does not only allow us to dictate who rules us or who leads us, but voting allows us to be fully, in tune with what is happening around us.
So taking part in decision making.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I think the youth, in particular, need to take voting seriously because, when we look at our municipalities, our regional centers, our national centers, we have to take into consideration that without the youth voting, then there wouldn't be change that we provide in our neighborhoods or in our communities. Yeah. Like, for example, what I don't like about the youth is that they always complaining that the government is failing us. When you ask them, do you attend those municipal meetings in your community? They don't. And then those are the meetings that set out the budgets, that set out the direction of how we will go. So I think voting should be compulsory, especially for you.
And again, we ask, do they even go and register?
What's the problem with the youth? The youth think they are more intelligent than people who came before. That is our biggest problem because we need to understand what voting brings to us. Yes, we've got political freedom, we've got something they will say judicial freedom, but the economic aspect of our freedom is a defining factor of the way we want to be.
Yes.
As human beings, as the young people. And what scares me is that young people don't take voting seriously now. How will they take it seriously when they are older? So, man, it's a very abstract issue because I feel the youth think they know politics. Just because of no, that's not politics. Politics is who governs your city.
Do you think also they're not voting because in our parliament there's older people there? So they're like, no, what's the point?
It plays a part. It plays a huge role because let's look at African countries as a whole. Which African country has a member of parliament that is younger than 35? There's no. We always try and compare ourselves with other countries, but we don't follow what they do. I don't like the French president, but one thing we can say from him, that guy's young. That guy is very young. And it's interesting to see the way the politics are changing in this country. Mm-hmm. Look at the MCs, look at the mayors. Some of them are young, some of them are very young, which is an improvement of where we come from as a country. Yeah, I think young people in particular, because and then we can't blame them, because a lot of people might say, but we voted for Matiba. We can't blame the generation that are like before, because what's the most important thing about their generation that are 1994? They made us conscious to what are the important things for our freedom. When we look at some of the sacrifices that were done by the leaders in 1984, I feel they took us to a certain stage They took us to a certain step. And why it troubles me is that the youth hasn't really woken up to see that we should go forward.
Indeed.
And voting, it's a...
But you know what? We'll talk about it more often because we need to speak Uti. Is it convincing enough for them to vote? We'll get back to that. Mr. Zwelibanzi, now I'm thinking of, is it convincing enough for these youngsters, for us as youngsters, to vote? Because who must vote, that we go to schools, we vote there. But why is it that there's no education about the voting?
I think our education system is one that is limiting in terms of ability. Because when we look at our syllabus, for number one, our syllabus doesn't speak to anything political.
Nothing.
Like, there's no, history,
History was not taken, it was not that big thing.
Yes.
We did it, but it was just simple.
And what's important is our history as South Africans. We only know history, in terms of our Matiba.
Why are you teaching me about young Bandubek when I should know about it?
Exactly. Because let's look at events that led up to when we look at this winter uprising, one thing that it taught us is that the youth is the one that has the power to bring whatever change that we want. You look at your universities, you look at the colleges, there isn't exactly there isn't much attention on the political education of the young ones. That's why you see whenever you join any party, whether it's your ANC or whatever, the first thing they do is they teach you political history so that they conscientize you as to where you stand with this political party. In terms of, do we really take it seriously? No, we don't as the youth, because number one, there's a lot of coalition conflicts, even in the SRC, even in, like the SRC department in universities and college, it's a system that does not work for black people, because, for example, at the college that I was at, the SRC, they never used to advocate for the rights of learners or students. They always used to, organize parties. They always used to organize. And I feel it's done deliberately. Look at the old people, what they're doing. Old people will never really teach us about politics because they know that once Uzwe said, okay, this is how things must go. In order for the FSRC to be elected, I need to know which I must be a class rep or I must be in and they don't teach us that procedure because they don't want us to, control what they know. What I mean when I say they don't want us to control what they know. How much do you know about Steve Biko?
That's just small.
Why do you think it's small? Because when we look at Steve Biko as a human being, if Steve Biko was taught in a curriculum when the 6% school, number one, black students would be.
Even your Chris Hani, we only know more about him when he was shot.
Exactly. But now, let's talk about that for a minute. We only know that Chris Hani was shot, but we don't know why he was shot. Chris Hani was shot because he was the only one within the ANC leaders that had the most powerful department in the ANC. Now, that's what people don't know. Prior to 1994, Chris Hani was the leader of Nuna. And then that was like the military for the ANC. Now, that's why he needed to go. He needed to go because if you have control of the military, then you can overthrow whatever leadership that you can, that is there. And now he was speaking to the young people. The young people were like, why no mama says Akwati? Like, come on, but law says Akwati. And politics is important for us to deal with the elephant in the room, the land issue.
Yes.
I think the land issue is a very big one.
Yeah. And
if we don't really deal with that aspect of what we need, then it's
a problem. Zweli, we'll get into something that's, for me, it's something that we need to tackle because with elections coming next year, and with Gauteng, actually the city of Joburg. A lot of mayors are being changed and all that. It also confuses the young people. Well, what's going on? Am I really going to vote for these people if this is the second or what? But we'll tackle it and get on it more because people need to know what. Am I supposed to go out there and vote? So political analysts have spoken since we had elections in 2021 that the turnout was low, more especially the youth.
It's very tricky, man. You know, going back to what we were speaking about, are they really conscious of the importance of voting? Does the youth know how to deal with voting or to deal with politics as a whole? You know, you once mentioned that the different changes in the political coalitions is what sometimes causes the confusion. I fully agree with you.
It is.
Because 1 minute
it's so and so.
The next it's.
What does it say to the youth? What
Exactly.
does it say to the country as a whole?
Yeah. And I think, you know, the politicians that are there, they need to really look at the time that we're in a very crucial time right now. Because for us, you know, I always say you can't break me about the.
No ways.
I was not there, so to me it doesn't apply. You know? But when we look at the time that we are in now, it's similar to what they were going through. Our 2024 is their 1994 because you know some guys spoke of this was a cooling period. You know, our parents come from a time that is such, you know, that is filled with brutalness, killings, abuse, segregation, inequality, that when 1994 came, they thought, finally, what we fought for, but they forgot. They forgot the most important aspect. And voting is important for us to I don't know how to put it.
And I was about to get into that. Let's give them the points to see that. You know, for the young person, is there a plan for them? You know, okay, why am I voting as a young person? They need to consider it. When you say voting gives you a voice, that's the most important thing.
Yes. I think there is a plan, especially from these university students. You can see how they've taken up in arms to sort of deal with the issues that are affecting the students in universities. But in terms of the youth in general, I don't think they have a plan. Look at the drug situation in our townships. Let's look at the alcohol situation in our townships. Let's look at the ignorance that comes from our township. It's so hard to be politically awake, but live in a household with siblings that don't understand the political nature of where we come from and where we are as a country. The two are siblings. We are siblings, and I think as the youth, it sort of contributes to the mental capabilities that we go through as young people, and we don't really have a plan, a solid plan as the youth on how we're going to deal with this issue of politics and voting, because for the past 20 years, nothing has really said, hey man, we're ready to listen to the young people.
Yeah.
No political party has ever said, it's only when we strike, when we're striking for fees, then they come to us and say, okay, we'll hear you. I think that's also one of the problems with our government. Without mentioning any names, one of the problems with the ruling party is that there are people who are arrogant. Mafia and is trying to make a good point.
Yes.
They don't see us. It's not that we want to be smarter than them, but you must understand, if I've been sitting on the bench all this time watching you play, I have a good analysis of how I'm going to play the game once I'm in. So I think with the youth in terms of planning and other things, they need to know how to mobilize. The youth does not know how to mobilize.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you said we use schools as these places to vote, but we don't use schools as places to teach people.
Teach them.
The youth is so dysfunctional because they are misguided. We look at the entertainment industry. It's it's a big industry, why would the youth not be focused and not have a plan? It's because most of our young people are artists, and
Yes.
the government has never done anything serious to sort of look at artists and say, hey man, we are also here to help.
And we got to see it. The entertainment industry was just sidelined.
It was just sidelined.
Yeah.
Because the people who are controlling that industry do not have a plan. And number one, we should stop allowing politicians, especially in the entertainment and arts. We must never be led by a politician. Someone who's got
for someone who's been in the industry
exactly
so long, who understands.
Exactly. We can't say, okay, we assign a politician, and then we also want to fight for rights. No, that person's a politician. They won't understand the rights of the musician. They don't understand royalties. They don't understand licensing. They don't understand art as a whole. Because when we talk of art, people think you're talking of a product. Like I once met Ike Mulweli, and she said something very profound. She's like, as artists, people think they think I know.
But you say from also our parents, when you say I want to tap into art or the entertainment, they think it's a hobby. It's not a career.
But that's because they were brainwashed to think that it's a hobby or it's
and it's only being a nurse, a teacher, that's it.
Because you must understand that the apartheid government was very smart. They saw the power of media, they saw the power of entertainment, they shut it down completely. Because how come Media Market was big during apartheid? She was so big because she was advocating through her music for the struggles that we were facing. Now, you can't advocate through your music because number one, the youth is not going to listen to you. I'm a youth of and it's so hard, man, to sort of have these conversations without cameramen. You wouldn't be able to see
like
without sound engineers, you wouldn't be able to hear Ramaphosa speaking on that podium. Without the lighting engineers, we wouldn't be able to have light in these rooms. So everything is related to entertainment as a whole. When it comes to voting, honestly, I just think we need to be awake as young people.
Yeah.
And because I want to discuss 2024 is a crucial year for us young people.
It's around the corner.
And another difficult thing is our brothers and sisters. Have you ever seen the stigma that we face as maybe I'm a second and I'm a last born? Because we cannot blame our older brothers. Number one, I live with an older brother who's not been working for 6 years. I don't want to blame him. Why? Because I have to understand the type of environment that he comes from. Now, as Black people, we don't understand those type of struggles that we are facing. We are not inclined to, the pain that those people were facing, And that's why Tina, 95, 96 post, about 2000, we don't really care about their problems because we don't understand what their problems are. Friday, and for the youth needs to deal with those problems.
Indeed.
They really need to deal with those problems so that their mind is more open. It's not must figure the gas and citizens will campaign. No, but
yeah, exactly.
It's because our mama nabo sebakhathela nje. Abogogo bakhathele bayidlulisa ubumama. Abomama bakhathele bayidlulisa ubumntwana. So, man, it's a really an interesting time for South Africa. I just wish that
for the youngsters.
For the youngsters, it's especially crucial for the young people, man. And we need to understand we are no more at that stage where we can just say no, some day will do. That it's a very important topic that we need to have. Yes, we can do it on our own, but we've seen that there's some things that we can learn from white people and then implement them and make it work for us.
Yeah.
Not to much imagine in. I think that is what will not kill us, but it will derail us. So we need to sit down and have a conversation of how do we fix this issue of the youth. Because number one, the youth is misguided. Look at the number of teen pregnancies. Look at the number of parties that are trending. Anything that's trending from the youth, it's nothing that's constructive. If I was to ask one young person, what is the breakthrough?
It's another situation.
Yeah.
So for me, if we want the youth to be ready to vote, we need to teach them about the importance of voting. That will start in our schools, in our primary schools, in our high schools.
Yeah.
That's when we should start this thing. Because for me, an SGP is nothing more than an SRC. It's just school governing body. Yeah, and me, I have a serious problem about that. Because as umuntu omdala noma ngifaka esikhundleni ayingacabangeli.
Never.
Already ukhathele ushaya amakrempe enyaweni ngoba athenda la meeting parliament. Into ayicabangayo abadokotela. Ucabangani izinto zakhe nje.
Now you're bringing me to this closing point. Voting is an opportunity for change.
It's a very big opportunity, but we must understand that opportunity that we are given, because I feel we know things as the youth of South Africa. We know it's our Chami, we know it's Dave's, but do we understand it's one Chami? Do we understand which Dave's are one? And as soon as we have not come to that stage where we have to understand things, it's going to be like, we'll be running around in circles because we need to understand. Understanding is very powerful. We know the struggle, we know all of these things, but we don't understand how they affect us as human beings. We don't understand how they impact our lives directly as young people in this country. And I would love to see a stage whereby half of the MPs are not even gray guys.
Please, that's when youngster, you're young adults.
That's what when you go and attend these government things.
Yeah.
Because number one, they take time. But just because some in like but now that's where you see the arrogance, because they know that they're tired, but they won't quit.
That's the thing.
And another thing, as Black people, we need to be financially literate. I don't know if it's the right word. Why do I say we need to be financially literate? You see, Mama Gena 1994, the ruling party, they should have studied about money. They should have.
And it would have helped.
Because the reason why people steal, the reason why people loot, the reason why people do fraud, the reason why people do money laundering is because they don't understand that this money is supposed to be used to grow something. So they are in there to just make this money work for them. Like, it's not about functional corruption. No, there's no such thing as functional corruption. No, I don't understand. I don't go along with that concept, because if you're going to make corruption functional, what are we saying to the future? What are we saying to the young ones now? It's very tricky, man.
Yeah.
It's very tricky. They don't understand money. That's why we are in so much trouble. Because all people don't understand money. Why want 300 million? No.
Thank you. Zweli, but now, because we need to wrap this thing up, yes. I'm noting that a lot of youngsters are not happy with the local government. Yes. Or let me say the party, the ruling party, let me put it that way.
Yes.
Do you think, Vela, that when I say to you the opportunity for change, because you were given 5 years to run and ensure that you make changes and do proper running and all that. The thing is, the youth is not happy with the 5 years or even more than 5 years that the ruling party has been in. So now this is for us to encourage them to go out there and say, let's go and vote, because you are not happy with the ruling party. It's now time for you to go out there and vote instead of voting via Twitter. Yes. That's the challenge that we have with the youth.
Yes, because the youth is not conscious. Umntana siyamkhulisa manje, simfaka Instagram, simfaka TikTok, simfaka into ayaziyo. Whatever struggle that they're facing it from afar, in the comfort of their home. So I think, I forgot my training.
Technology, that's the problem.
It's not the problem, but it's one of the issues that we need to deal with. Because we need technology, to be advanced too. But we need to use it in the right way.
In the right way. You cannot go and vote la.
You cannot go and vote that. You can never.
So, in closing, should voting be compulsory in South Africa, in your own words?
Yes, it should, because this is the current system that has been done, whereby if you don't vote, your vote goes to you.
And
And you'll complain still when it goes to
Not voting is giving up your voice where someone else will get to make that decision for you. On today's episode, we were talking about should voting be made compulsory in South Africa. Do engage with us. Just leave a comment. It's the Dawning Experience with Chami. Thank you so much for joining us.